Every day we are surrounded by thousands of products. Some of them attract our sympathy, some of them we simply like using, and some we do not. Have you ever thought why you tend to use a particular product rather than another similar one? Welcome to Design Thinking.
The general aim of design thinking is to solve problems. That's what it's really designed to be about. But it's also more than that. It's about changing the world. And you'll see here at the D School, on the wall, we have a plaque that talks about what it is we try to do with design thinking and the D School. At the very top of the list is a statement that says we're interested in building people who are both thinkers and doers. People who think big thoughts but also do big work. And we're interested in people that practice design thinking, which, as we've talked about, is a process of iterating and learning and trying again. And people that are collaborators, that come from many different walks in life, but share points of view and collaborate. And finally, probably most importantly, that work on really big things, big ideas that could change the world. And we find that that's what really drives design thinking, is the thought of these innovations.
As members of the project team, we would like you to join us in our Stanford experience on the design thinking process. To show what design thinking is truly about, we decided to go through the design process using a methodology taught at Stanford University. First of all, we decided to move to the D School to get inspired.
The D School is an important place at Stanford because it embodies the principles of what we try to do with design thinking. It's kind of funny in that the D School at Stanford is not a school. The way it's described is it's a crossroads. It's a place where people of different disciplines, different backgrounds, different points of view can meet and talk and solve problems. And it's that crossroads mentality where, if you will, science and art come together, where education and industry come together. That's really what the D School tries to do by facilitating collaboration between people who might not normally talk to each other, but when they do, come up with big and important answers.
Design thinking can be divided into parts, all equally important. First, create a team. The more interdisciplinary, the better. You'll quickly realize that when you make people work together, they start to come up with ideas they would never think of on their own. In the next step, define the problem clearly. Our problem was to solve designing a new and improved version of a whiteboard for educational and scientific institutions.
I am a biotechnologist, and to implement design thinking in my work, I plan to start with involving students to work in interdisciplinary teams. One of the best ways to generate creative ideas is brainstorming. It is collective thinking of the group by interacting with each other, listening and drawing conclusions.
Once the problem is presented, brainstorm on it amongst your team members. Have one person moderate the session and write down all of the ideas. And by ideas, we mean all ideas, even the most crazy ones. Just remember one thing: stay on the topic. When you finish gathering all the ideas, go through them once again and pick the best ones. After the brainstorm and you have a general view over the issue, just go out. Remember, there's nothing interesting in your workspace, and the real source of ideas lies on the street where your potential customers are. Start with empathy. It's crucial to try and understand the person you are interviewing. Show that you really care about the information you're receiving.
Thinking taught me not to focus purely on technology development, but to look at people's needs and wishes and think how to fit the technology into these needs. Once you change the way you think, you discover a lot of new opportunities to create an innovative product.
Once you gain somebody's trust and sympathy, start interviewing. First, ask some general questions. What do you think about existing whiteboards? How can they be improved? After that, dig deeper. Be curious. Why is it important for you that the whiteboard should be able to take photos of what it's written on, for example? After receiving lots of information, it's time to analyze them carefully. Capture your findings, discuss them with your team, and try to analyze what are the real intentions behind the words. Try to draw, create in any way, or express what you think people are talking about from the interviews. When you create it, present it to the people that you originally talked to and get their feedback.
I'm working on new technologies, and for me, design thinking is like redefining the problem. There is no any straight path to the solution. I can compare design thinking to sailing on the ocean when wind can blow you into the unexpected harbor.
Having figured out your thoughts on the subject and the people's feedbacks and reflections, reframe the problem. Maybe their biggest struggle is something else from what you thought it was at the beginning of the problem. Now try to generate a few radical ideas and ways to meet your customers' needs. When you're done, share your solutions and capture the feedback. Ask people for constructive comments and use phrases like "I like" to describe what they did like in your solutions and "I wish" to describe what should be changed. When you've done your best to get to know your customers' needs, it's crucial to prototype. Only then can you see how your solution looks and works in real life. Get feedback on the prototype. If it doesn't satisfy customers, do it again and again and again until it finally does.
One of the main reasons that you want a prototype is because it does make real the thing you're thinking about. So we all imagine what something would be like, but it's not until you actually get the real object in your hands that you realize things like, oh, this is too heavy, or it's not the right color, or it doesn't feel good, or it doesn't work. Or you try to make it and you think, I can't make it the way I thought. So a prototype leads you down that path. It gives you more information. The process of design is answering questions. So you have a question, will this work? And then you make something to answer that question. And usually in the form of answering the question, it raises two more questions. And so you go through a process where as you design, there are more and more and more questions you have to answer. And prototypes answer questions that can't be answered in any other way.
Stanford students get lots of opportunities to apply design thinking in developing real products. Let's hear some of them talking about the ME310 competition.
For the last 9 months or so, my teammates and I have been designing something that we are now referring to as the Audi GDI system. GDI in this case stands for display. And so over the last few months, we've sort of incorporated all sorts of little bits of information that we've picked up in the rapid prototyping process, which is a core piece of the 310 program.
So Angenieux has been very innovative leader in the film industry, especially considering they're the ones who invented the zoom lens. And so they tasked us with kind of exploring the future of image capture for the next 10 to 15 years. So very wide open brief to go anywhere we wanted to go with that.
And so you use the design thinking methodology throughout the entire process. So starting out with getting a challenge and doing a ton of need finding. So going out and talking to people, figuring out how observing people, what are they doing, and then what are the needs they have, what are the needs they don't even know that they have, and then taking those ideas and figuring out ways to solve the needs with lots of brainstorming and prototyping. And that's exactly how we made our product we're showing downstairs.
Design thinking is a way of developing solutions that can really change the world.